Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Moscato Moments with Melanin Babe. I'm so excited for today's podcast because I have a very special guest in the studio today, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so I have probably like the most important person in my life, my giver of life. My mom's in the studio today, and we're having a little bit of a mom tag interview session. And so today I'm going to be asking her what advice she wish she would have gotten when she's 20, or like lessons that you've learned.
What I would tell my 20-year-old self, I think, is what we're...
Yeah. So that's today's topic. What she wish she would have known when she was 20 years old.
Okay, so for the audience, I'm 43. I guess they need to know how old
Okay, yeah, I guess you could say your age now.
I'm 43, and I'm okay with that. Am I 43?
No, you're 44.
I'm 44. I always get it wrong. Anyways, I do. Sorry, people, I don't know how to calculate. 44, and what I would tell my 20-year-old self. So, I don't know, there's lots of things. I know, 20 plus years have passed, and you go through a lot of shit, and and some of it you're like, oh God, I hope I never have to go through that again, and some of it you're like, okay, I'm better because of it. So what I would probably want my 20-year-old self to know is that the fear that's with you most of the time as a human being on this planet never, ever, ever, ever goes away. On some level, that fear is always going to come up, whether it's a relationship, whether it's you trying new stuff, whether it's you getting a new job, whatever thing that you want to reach for that's in front of you, that fear always comes up. And I think I would want my 20-year-old self to push that fear aside for a little while and do that thing anyway. I think I know I've spent a lot of time allowing that fear to kind of control me and dictate what I do. And, I wish I had done more. I wish I had been a little bit more bold and...
so, like, just go out there and trust your instincts and just... or override the fear mechanism that comes around.
Yeah, I think it's the overriding, because everybody knows that fear thing never goes away. It comes up in lots of different ways, like that self-talk, like you can't do it, like, girl, what you think, this is not for you, don't dream big, don't see big, don't be big. And then that other side of you says, but I am big, I deserve that good thing, I deserve that experience. And so I think I wish I had learned much earlier on in the game or in this journey of life to put that fear aside and go for the thing. And even if I failed at it, it would have been okay to say, okay, I tried it. It's for me. It was good, or I suck at it. Okay, I know now. Let me move on. There's something that I would have learned from it. So, yeah, there's so many things. The fear thing is the one thing that I think stands out, but there's so many things. Them bastards talking upstairs. I'm sorry. I try to... when you got a house full of people, you try and be all wonderful and do an interview, and then Anyways, we're moving.
So first point is overriding the fear and the loud, obnoxious people in your household while you're trying to do a podcast.
Yeah, well, that's a big one. Know which people are for you, and the ones that aren't for you, move them out of the way. Know which people have good energy. Oh my God, if you learn that, that's a good one too. You have to know what people are in your energy, in your circle, who will...
I think, like, there's always all these memes and stuff that your parents always know, your real friends. Is that because you have that insight because you're older? You can kind of, like, distribute, like...
No, sometimes they're just badass kids who come to the door and you don't like them. It's not insight. You look into the eyes of another human being and you just don't like their energy. And
energy.
Yeah, and you don't want that energy to be a part of your kid's energy. It's as simple as that. You also want kids who know how to say, good afternoon or hello moms or good day miss. If you ain't got no manners, don't come to my door. That's another thing. It's not being a parent, and here's the great lie, everybody. Being a parent is not this magical thing. We do a lot of things by trial and error. We're faking it most of the time, and hoping that we get most of it right. We're trusting that we've given our kids enough of the skills or whatever, so that when they go out into the world and they meet different people, that they would be good people. But there's no magic. There's no magic to it.
So when you're like 20 years old, do you wish you would have understood this to understand grandma better, or?
No, grandma's just crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, grandma's just crazy, but in the most loving sort of way. And I appreciated her when I was 12. I appreciated her when I was 20, and I appreciate her now. Not that she doesn't rock every single nerve in me sometimes, but she's an incredibly generous person, and she's a very strong personality. And so, no, I understood her pretty clear. She was pretty clear about what she expected and what she wanted and what she would tolerate. And she was a hardworking lady, and I respected her for that. So there was no misunderstanding about who she was. Now she's just 75 years old and has no bar, no limit, no thing. So it's just like, oh my, we're just going to another level. But
for sure,
yeah.
So I think you said being clear is that one of the things you would think of too, like in your 20s, to be clear about your decisions, or you're still at the point where you're able to, like, you should just be trying things out, or like
I think in life sometimes you're more clear than other times. Sometimes you see what you need to do, you go after it, you're good, and sometimes you don't. And I think you just have to be kind to yourself about that. I think everybody wants this perfect, I've got to do it perfectly, I've got to be perfect, look perfect, feel perfect, and that's not true, Sometimes there are going to be times that you're feeling really, really in sync, and things are moving really, really good, and you're like, oh, yeah, and then, boop! Something happens, it takes you out of stride, and you've got to regroup and figure out how you get back into that good feeling. And that's what life is. It's the ups and downs. But no, I think you're always trying to, I think as long as you are here on the planet, you're still trying to be the best version of yourself as you can possibly be.
Yeah.
And, learning every day and trying different things and meeting new people and being in different environments is all part of all of that. Yeah. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird being interviewed by your daughter, people. I'm just saying.
Why is that weird? Like, we talk about this all the time. It's just weird because you, like,
it's like a
other
little
people hearing it.
Yeah, and what I wanted to say, I wanted it to be funny and meaningful, and not something that somebody can take away with and say, okay, I just didn't want to talk, whatever, just to hear my voice. I wanted to say something, good.
No, but you said good points, like overriding your fear, and you also said about understanding that you might not be at the point of your life where you need to be clear about everything you're doing, that's ever changing. And
yeah, it's a fluid thing.
Yeah,
it's a fluid thing. It's a fluid thing. I think everything, any advice that you would hear from a parent, a friend, anybody else, it always comes back to you as the individual, being kind and accepting yourself for who you are at that moment. Because the truth is, who I was at 20, obviously I'm not at 43. A little bit of
44.
What did I say?
43.
Oh God, 44. I lessened myself by 10 years. Didn't I say 34?
No, you said 43.
Oh, okay. 40s. I'm in my 40s. See? 40s. Let's just call it that.
Oh my
God. And so yeah, that person is definitely, some parts of that person still exist, but I hope I'm better. I hope I am wiser, but you do have to just be kind to yourself, that even in the good moments, even in the bad moments, you're a good person. And you have to give that to yourself first before you can give that to anybody else or other people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that goes back to your whole be kind to yourself.
Yeah. Because sometimes I beat myself up, about things. I still worry about some things, and I have to say, okay, you're all right. It's not so bad. So I think that's important. And two, the list could be really, really long for this particular topic, but
I think it's like there's so many things that it doesn't matter how old you are. Like these are still things that you can remember. Like while you're 30, while you're 15,
mm-hmm.
they're lessons and things to remember throughout your whole life.
Yeah. And I think that's the point. As long as you are alive and on this planet, you're working to be the best version of yourself. Yeah, I think that's what we're all trying to do.
So if you can sum up your, I don't know, if you had, I don't know, like a life or death situation where you had to answer, what's one word that describes your, 20s? Your 20s.
My 20s?
Yeah.
Confusing. I think that's what the 20s are. Because all of a sudden, you're not a teenager, you're not in high school anymore, you're working or you're going to university, you're going to school, and all of a sudden the world says, boom, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to be like that. But nobody teaches you how to get there. Yeah, nobody shows you the ropes, really. So, for maybe the first 5 years of my 20s, I felt a little confused, just floating, not sure, trying to be responsible, trying to do the right thing. But I think, because they don't tell you what to expect when you step out into the real world, you're a little confused by it. You're a little bit confused by it. But fun, because, I did go a few parties and
you lived that up.
I found my favorite drink and I traveled a little bit. So I enjoyed it. But, even with the really very enjoyable moments, a sense of confusion because you're not sure exactly, you're still trying to figure a lot of the grown-up stuff out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we have this conversation all the time.
Yeah, we do talk about it all the time.
I hope you guys got something out of this and have some inspiration as you go into your week. And so that's my mom, guys.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
That's my wealth of knowledge, who I laugh like. But the best thing about your 20s is that I was born. And it changed your whole life and dynamic. So you're welcome.
Yeah, that will be more than 10 minutes on a podcast, but yes.
How I've changed your life? That's next week.
That's part 2.
But thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in. And so go ahead and like and subscribe to our page at Melanin Babe Box. And I can't wait to see all your comments and for y'all to listen. So thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.